Good morning, my dear students. Today we will take lesson 4 in unit 1. In this lesson we will talk about magnetism and electricity. In this lesson we will talk about the relation between magnetism and electricity, where there are two relations between them. The first one, the electric current has a magnetic effect, and the second relation, any magnet can generate an electric current. Okay, let's start talking about the first relation between magnetism and electricity, the magnetic effect of the electric current. The electric current can be used to generate a magnetic field, as in the electromagnet. What is the electromagnet? It is a temporary magnet which is made by electricity. Now let's talk about the structure of the electromagnet. The electromagnet is made up of iron bar or iron nail, a copper wire twisted around the iron nail, and battery. Now let's talk about how we can make an electromagnet. First we will twist a copper wire around an iron nail. Then the two ends of the copper wire we will connect it with the battery. We will see what? We will observe what? The iron nail attracts the paper clips. From this activity we conclude that the electric current passes through the coil around the soft iron nail. It becomes a magnet, which we called it the electromagnet. Now we will talk about the working idea of the electromagnet. When the electric current passes through a wire, the soft iron nail works as a magnet. We must remember an important thing. The electromagnet changes the electric energy into magnetic energy. We call the electromagnet a temporary magnet. Why we called it as a temporary magnet? Because when the electric current is cut off, the soft iron nail loses its magnetic force. This is why we call the electromagnet as a temporary magnet. How we can increase the magnetic force of the electromagnet? There are two methods. We use them to increase the magnetic force of the electromagnet. The first one by increasing the number of batteries, and the second method by increasing the number of coil turns around the nail. Now let's talking about the uses of the electromagnet. We use the electromagnet in making electric cranes that is used to lift the heavy iron blocks in factories. Also we use the electromagnet in making many devices as the electric bells, the television, and the electric mixers. Now we will start the second part of our lesson. In this lesson we will talk about the second relation between magnetism and electricity. The second relation between magnetism and electricity is the electric effect of the magnet. Any magnet can generate an electric current, as in dynamo. Let's now talking about the structure of the dynamo, or the electric generator. The dynamo consists of a copper coil and a magnet. Now we will talk about the idea of operation of the dynamo or the electric generator. When a magnet moves inside a copper coil, the electric current passes through the coil so the lamp in the opposite figure lights. The dynamo converts the mechanical or the kinetic energy into electric energy. In dynamo, the electric current can be generated by two methods. The first one, by moving a coil between the two poles of the magnet, or by moving a magnet inside the coil. The generation of the electric current in the coil increases by increasing the motion of the coil between the two poles of the magnet. How we can measure the electric current intensity? By using a meter. Now we will talk about the examples of the dynamo. We have a huge dynamo and a small dynamo. The small dynamo, it is a small cylinder that touches the bicycle wheel tire. We use the small dynamo to generate a small amount of electricity to lighten the bicycle's bulb. What about the huge dynamo? It's made of many great coils that turn between the two poles of a huge magnet. We use the huge dynamo in the electric power stations. Why we use the huge one in the electric power stations? To generate a large amount of electricity used for lightening the cities. How we can increase the amount of electricity produced from the dynamo? There are two methods to increase the amount of electricity produced from the dynamo. The first one by using a strong magnet, and the second one by increasing the number of turns in the moving of the copper coil.